so it can be prompted. And then we also make sure that we're setting up with small steps so we can be a positive reinforcer, because if it's too big, then we're correcting behavior all the time. So this is the shaping. It comes back to yours, back to the basics, the simple things. So now you become a positive stimulus. Huge, but simple.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And see, this is the thing about going back to letters training, because this was a lot, right? This was something additional we had to put together. And so initially everyone was like, this is a whole lot. And, you know, we're like, how are we going to get this done? And so what we did in our building to try to help with the time aspect is we gave the teachers an hour during the day, once per week, to be able to work on some of the work, right? So this helped out. And now as we've gotten through it, this is like in the 7th month we're starting to do it. It's a lot more feasible now. So I think if I had not started to do the work, also provide that support to the teachers to be able to do it, then it would have failed. We're following up with the teachers once a week in our PLCs to be able to utilize that. And that consistency that you said, building the simple things at 1%, I like to call it, is making a change. And again, not overnight. I love this research by Sapovich and Turner, 2000, that said, and this, I can't remember, I got this back from when I was looking at the research, some STEM research. But it said, you know, they said you need 80 hours of PD to change practices, but 160 to change a culture, right? So that if you can imagine maybe 40 hours or so a year that teachers get, then you're looking at that 4 to 5 years to actually build that sustainability. So another practice that I've tried to tell our teachers is that this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. And so continuing to promote that message that, hey, you know, even though we may see ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the end goal is 4 or 5 years down the road, right? That helps it be more palatable. So regardless if there's a lot on the plate, you got to be able to cast a vision, not only right now, but you got to do the long-term, you know, forecast to be able to say, you all look, we're on the way and we're going to get there. We just have to keep, you know, with the consistency, building that sustainability over time.
Well, that's exactly what I talk about in positional authority and leadership. But what I talk about, and you just said it in so many words, that leaders have to wear 4 hats, right? There's the leading hat, training hat, coaching hat, and managing hat. Leading is, in behavior analytic terms, it has a value in behavior altering effect. In other words, it's inspirational, right? It gets people moving in that direction. Then you need to, I like to shift my hat, usually put it to the side, you know, for the visual, for the effect, right? But then there's the training hat. So they might be moving that direction, but like, do they have the skills to do it? So now we got to make sure they have the knowledge and skills. Wonderful, okay? We equip them with the skills. These are the trainings. But as I just showed you with the joists and showers, training does not stick without coaching, right? So where training is about skill acquisition, coaching is about supporting the generalization of learned skills into the natural environment. It's helping them to behave well enough and long enough that they're seeing the impact, right? You might be in vivo, meaning in the classroom, need to put on they better train something, but you got to put your training hat back on because they need the skills, right? But we shift from telling people to asking people with the coaching, right? Telling them what to do in so many words, right? To ask them, what did you do and what did you see as a result of that, right? And now the 4th part, and this is incredibly important, and I'm proud of the function of this, because nobody's ever done this until I did it with the book. Managing. Managing is about maintenance, right? And managing requires a good system. You let the system do the managing, right? Because there's the policies, there's the procedures, there's the contingencies, right? Everybody knows. It's like when you drive, you're driving in a system, right? If there's not a good driving system out there, there's be accidents everywhere. Nobody tells you what to do. The stoplights tell you what to do, right? The signs tell you what to do. And a good system does the managing for you. It's not that we implement it, but those rules are in place and we just apply them. You do good. Hey, great job. You don't do good. Hey, everybody knows what's going to happen. I hate to have to do this or give this feedback, but you know, hey, we all agreed that this was supposed to happen. But if you've done well by the leading, you've done well by the training and the coaching, this part becomes easy because it creates positive accountability. So knowing which hat, and a lot of people skip from the training hat to the managing hat, and they're not effective with the managing hat because they haven't done the coaching and also they don't have a good system in place like the teacher. If we brought this down to, it's easier to conceptualize in the classroom. I know you got that. This is for the listeners. Managing would look like this, like let's say classroom management, right? And in classroom management, the system are the rules and procedures, right? The routines that they have going on. They're how we're going to reinforce the correct behavior, and we want the reinforcement to be